Hey, I'm Naya. Welcome back to the channel. So, first of all, Happy New Year to everybody. I hope that this year brings you a lot of joy and that you reach anything that you put your mind to. And yeah, hopefully your celebrations went nice. And yeah, basically just Happy New Year. I'm very grateful to have all of you over here. I cannot believe the community we have built in such a short period of time and yeah, I'm super grateful for that. And I wish you all the best of luck in anything you wish for, anything that you want. And also that you stick around, make sure to stick around on the channel. I'm very glad to have you here. And yeah, basically what we're going to be doing today is talking about prank kits. Now it's been a minute since we talked about prank kits, but we're going to go over Brave Token prank kits because in Grand Creators, Brave tokens are going to be dropping, and this engine is amazing. It does a lot for prank kits. I came up with this deck, and yeah, I just want to showcase it to you. Just because the entire idea of this engine is that you make a negate. You just have this negate ready that you can use whenever, just when a card or effect is activated. And we all know how much prank kits struggle with the first prank kit being negated. So this is incredible. But the reason why this engine cannot be used in every single deck is because in the turn that you activate these effects, you cannot use monster effects on the field except for special summon monsters, which basically is perfect for all of the aforementioned decks. Prank kits don't use anything in on the field, just in the graveyard. The special summon monsters obviously are not locked out of their effects, so you can still use Doodle, you can still do whatever. So we're just gonna quickly go over the deck, talk about the ratios and everything, and then we're gonna jump into solo mode, and I'm just gonna show you what this engine does, basically, what happens. First of all, we're gonna go over the Brave Token engine. It's pretty much basic. You have 3 of the monster, Aquamancer of the Sanctuary, you have 3 of the Rite of Amnesia, Journey of Destiny, Wandering Griffin Rider, and Dracobag the Dragon Steed, so the equip spell. And like I said, I'm going to show you later, but essentially the monster is a 1-card combo because it gets you the spell gets you the other spell, the spell gets you the Wandering Griffin Rider. So it's just, it just snowballs, one from the other and then so on, and you get this at the very end, which is very nice. You have that negate ready, and that's just it. Basically, I mentioned it's a 1-card combo just because it says that you can banish this card from your hand or graveyard, add a Rite of Amnesia from your deck or grave to your hand, which is this spell. So if you have it in the graveyard, you can continue going later on in the game also. And we have 1 copy of Foolish Burial just because, as I read before, you can banish it from the graveyard. So Foolish acts as a 4th copy of Aquamancer. So this is the engine. It takes up a lot of space, so I really needed to think what I want to put in for all of the other flex spots, because obviously you want to have all of the prank kits also. And I decided to run every single one of them at 3, just because Roxy is always debatable, and this is not a polymerization version, but it's still like a lot of prank kits. You want to see them. That's just how it is. And you could cut one, maybe substitute it with something else, but I still feel like in a deck like this, you really, really, really just want to see your engine and be able to play. Even if you break on a lot of prank kits, it's still better to have an option to play than to break on just random cards, non-engine cards that don't do anything. But that's just my belief. So as for the prank kit spells, we have 3 of the field spell, 1 of the pranks, which is standard, 2 of the Pandemonium, just because we really don't have the space. It's searchable, and you also have Thunder Dragon Fusion together with Anaconda. So this is the only reason I always played 3. I loved it when I drew it, just because you could be able to go for that big combo where you end on the spell trap removal, Rolling Roaster, and also Butler, but it's really not that necessary. And I'm very excited to be playing Thunder Dragon Fusion also. I have not personally ever played it. I've tested it, never really liked it, so right now I'm excited to try it out. Then we have Talents and Droplet. Now these kinds of spots together with 3 Ash, that's very much whatever you want to play. I don't want to enforce anything just because your personal meta, your deck of choice, and everything goes into play when you choose which kind of cards you want to fill up your extra slots in the deck with. I just chose these cards in particular Droplet because I feel like it's still going to be very good since the combo decks are not just going to die on the ban list. And not just the combo decks, any deck that you should use Droplet against. If you can afford it, that is, obviously. You can just play Imperm, you can play Veiler, play whatever. But Droplet, I feel like, does the most. And then we have Talons, just because people tend to play a lot of hand traps. And we have Ash, because it's very much generic. So before moving on to the other cards, I just wanted to quickly mention Crossout Designator. I did not put it in this deck simply because you have Brave tokens as your form of negation, disruption for your opponent, and to be safe, because of the hand traps and everything, you have Called By, you have 2 copies of Talons. I still prefer those cards over Crossout. I feel like it just hasn't had the time to shine yet, and if you have them, if you got them right now when they're cheap, maybe got your copies, which is very nice, just play them, because those cards, the Brave Token Engine is probably going to have quite a price tag on them, so for the time being, if this is your only deck or if that's what you want to play something in a Crossout, just do it. There's no issue with that whatsoever. But you really need to tailor your main deck accordingly, play a lot of one-offs of different cards. And when I was building this version, I just felt like I don't have the space to run everything, so this is the only reason why I don't have it. And then for the one-offs, we already mentioned Foolish, just part of the Brave token combo. We have 1-for-1 for Fansies, Called By, Instant Fusion, because it's very good in this deck in particular. We have Monster Reborn just because it's very much free. And I know this is 41 cards, but I still like it when, cards help me do something, like 1-for-1 Monster Reborn. You can always tie them out if you don't really need them at this particular point in time. But I still like to have it ready in the main deck. As for the extra deck, the Fusion lineup is very much basic, but I have another copy of Butler, just because when I used to play Prankets, I always felt like, I don't really want to recycle Butler again. I would much rather recycle something like Doodle with Pranks in the end phase. But now I gotta go for Butler because I only play one, but I still have a way to go into him on the following turn. So I was just confused as to which route to go. And that's why I put another Butler in. You have the space since you don't have the Meow Meows. And it's just much better to have something that's very useful, and then you can actually save your pranks, shuffling back for any other card you might need in that particular situation. So that's why I have this kind of lineup of fusions. You have Access Code and Unicorn. I don't have Phoenix just because, I don't feel the use for it right now. You could also substitute one of the Butlers for the Phoenix because why not? Honestly, but you have a lot of Link too, so Link climbing should not be that hard to go into Access Code. Link Spider is here for the token. You have the Brave token on board because you need it for Wandering Griffin Rider to meet its activation requirement. You need to control a Brave token to be able to negate. But then at one point, if you get rid of your negate and you still get disrupted, you maybe really need to go into Anaconda. You just have it ready. You have it ready for the Nibiru token. Just whatever you feel like you want to use the Link Spider for, just use it since it's an effect monster and you can go into Anaconda. This is the entire principle of having it, same as in the Phantom Knights deck. You would turn Shade Brigandine into a Link Spider. So there's that. You also have Linkuriboh since you don't have Meow Meow and you want to start going, you want to start your combo, and Fansies is a level 1. So there's that, just an additional way to start with all of your Pranket stuff. And then I have 1 Bow Wow, 3 Doodle because I just like Doodle. Doodle does a lot. But to be perfectly honest, I still don't have the 3rd Doodle IRL. I don't know what I'm doing, honestly. I never got it, but I don't have it yet. And for the time being, I will probably just play 2 Doodle, 2 Bow Wow, which is completely fine also because Bow Wow helps out a lot as well. But yeah, just get Doodle, I guess. Whatever you want to do. This ratio is very much interchangeable. I need to get a copy of Doodle though. So 1 Meow Meow since it's at 1, and then the Roaring Roaster. I like this card. I have always been a fan of this card, and it just comes up in situations where you need it. Basically, if you face a deck that you really need Roaring Roaster against, it's just nice to have, since you don't need to deal with back row, with all of the removals and stuff and think about that. You need to draw them. No, just go into Rolling Roaster and you should be good. And then Anaconda, we have previously mentioned her. She just needs to be here. If she's not hit on the ban list, we're very much gonna use it together with Thunderjack and Fusion. So right now we're just gonna jump into solo mode real quick. Basically I chose like a 2-card combo essentially, just to explain a couple stuff as we go. So we banish Yakomancer to get the Rite of Amnesia, get it to hand, and then you need to special summon a Brave token if you don't control any per its effect. And then if you don't control Journey of Destiny, you can place a Journey of Destiny in the Spell and Trap card zone face up. So with Journey of Destiny, now this is very important to note. Journey of Destiny searches Wandering Griffin Rider, or rather a monster that specifically lists Brave token in its card text during the main phase. But then you need to send the card from your hand to the graveyard. Now in an opening hand, you're going to have 5 cards. So you will be able to send something from the hand to the graveyard. But if you don't have it, or if you want to keep all of your cards you already have in hand, what you can do is activate the other effect, which says if a monster is normal or special summoned, you can take an equip spell that lists Brave token in its text, equip it to Brave token you control, or add it to your hand. So right now we're just gonna normal summon the Prank Kid, activate Journey of Destiny's effect, get the equip spell, keep it in hand so we can send it to the graveyard when we search Wandering Griffin Rider. So get this, and then we're gonna activate the effect since it's the main phase, get this as well, and we're just gonna send the equip spell to the graveyard since you don't need it. But why this effect is also important, as I mentioned before, you have 5 cards in your opening hand. So if you can afford to get rid of one, what you can also do is, right now, so we're gonna special summon this, because during the main phase, if you control no monsters or you control Brave token, you can special summon this card. It's an activated effect, so you need to declare it, then special summon it. Right now, if we still had not used the Journey of Destiny effect, what we could do is, when we link summon from Meow Meow, this is when we're most afraid that our Prank Kid is going to get disrupted. And I realize we have a negation, but if we can chain block, we can save that negation for later if they have multiple hand traps, if they have anything basically during their turn, we can also use it. So we could go chain link 1, whichever Prank Kid in the graveyard, and chain link 2 Journey of Destiny since it's on special summon as well. And then you just search the equip spell or equip it, and you very much chain blocked, and your opponent is just going to be very sad. So you chain block the Prank Kid. In this particular situation, we cannot do that, so we just activate the Prank Kid and go with, with all of your Prank Kid stuff. Just go through with them. Just do everything. Special summon this guy, burn your opponent, and then make Duro. We're going to search, obviously, activate the green one effect as well. Gonna send pranks to the graveyard. Now, right now, you could go for Roxy's, for example, banish something from the graveyard, from the hand later on to get a draw, and then special summon the water one. But whatever you want to do, you can do right now. All right, so right now, you would just use Duro to get pranks and another one to hand, activate pranks, make a token. You know how it goes. Make a token, and then just make Bow Wow. So you could also go for an additional Duro right here, summon out, with the water ones, summon out the 4th Prank Kid, so the Roxy's, and then make Bow Wow, and then use Roxy's effect if you have something to banish and draw. Summon another Prank Kid, and if you do it like this, right now you would have, something like this, an additional Prank Kid on board. Use Bow Wow in their turn to add back 2 of the colors. But if you use Roxy's and an additional Duro also, you would have enough stuff in the graveyard to shuffle back with pranks and not lose any of your resources. Because right now, we can set this and in the end phase, shuffle back 3 of them. So Duro, Meow Meow, and the green one, since we need the water and the fire. But with that, we shuffle back Meow Meow. So you can shuffle it back, have it for the following turn, and then just have 1 Butler pop. But if you want to have it to be able to banish it you can go for an additional copy of Duro to have enough cards in the graveyard to shuffle back all of them, keep the Meow, and still get the draw with pranks in the end phase. But this is like, we're getting into stuff that's not really that important right now. I just wanted to show you the Brave token stuff, and that's just how it works. So yeah, hopefully this video wasn't too long. I wanted to record a short one just to put everything out there. If you're still here watching, I appreciate you a lot. Make sure to give me a like if you learned anything, if you took anything away from this video. I'm very grateful. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, sub, check out Twitch, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.